I am the Witch of Jasmine, and welcome back to my channel. Ooh, look at that light. That's so pretty. That sometimes happens with this candle holder. It kind of just depends on, I'm not really sure what conditions, but some certain conditions. But looks like we get that today. Pisces moons, hello. It's nice to see you. How are you doing? Oh, happy Halloween. I'm gonna be posting this video on Halloween. So to all who celebrate. Oh my gosh, your cards are flying out. Jeez. Yeah, well, you may be watching this after too, but happy Samhain as well. But anyway, hi, Pisces moons. These are all coming out so fast. But as I'm shuffling out your cards, I invite you to take some deep breaths to calm yourself, ground yourself, center yourself, get relaxed, get comfy. And there we go. That was easy. All right, let's take a look at your cards. So for the Oracle card, we have Refinement with Scorpio and the air element. All right, and for your tarot cards, we have Ten of Swords, Wheel of Fortune, the Hermit, the Seed, aka Temperance, Six of Wands reversed, and lastly, Harvest, aka Judgment. So it looks like here we're talking about some time after a very big thing happened, which I know is vague. But we have this Ten of Swords here, which is about a betrayal, being stabbed in the back 10 times by 10 swords, right? However, we can expand that to be referencing a situation that didn't happen quite like you thought it would, some sort of ending to something that turned out so not what you were expecting. And especially with that sword's energy, it's very quick. It's just very sudden, like a big plot twist, perhaps. So I do believe that is something that has already happened. And now we're just kind of talking about the aftermath of that, right? Picking the pieces back up and getting back on that broomstick. But with this Refinement card here, which if you're new to my readings, the Oracle card is the overall main theme of my readings. So if you're not going to take anything else away from this reading, at least take away this. And with this Refinement card, it talks about, or it's giving you the message of kind of refining the things that are in your life, right? Getting rid of things that are like cutting the fat off of things in your life, right? So I think what we're talking about in this reading is after, the aftermath of that very sudden and maybe pretty painful ending to that last chapter you were in, you know, what can we learn from that and apply to going into the next chapter, right? Things that we have going on in the future. So one thing I do want to say about this Ten of Swords, we have it above the seed, aka Temperance, which is all about balance and peace. So I think this is one of those situations, and I know this is never what people want to hear. It's annoying, but sometimes it is true that even though this was, I'm assuming, a pretty difficult and maybe a really bad situation, I think it ultimately was, the way that it played out is something that will ultimately be for a greater good, involving things surrounding, like I said, balance and peace, harmony as well, things kind of coming together in that much more peaceful way. I'm not really sure how much more specific I can get with that, but it certainly also could be a situation of like, even though like as bad as this was, if this hadn't happened, things could have turned out a lot worse. So as much as this part was bad, it ultimately was to promote balance and peace and harmony. I can't really get any more specific than that, but that's what that tells me. So as far as going forward, we have Wheel of Fortune here, which is nice. It tells me that we're in, this is very clearly a low. So we're back into an upswing of things getting a little brighter, a little more positive. However, I think something that you want to be on the lookout for to keep, you know, this wheel spinning back up to a positive, back up to a high in life, right? Something you want to look out for is this Six of Wands reversed. Now, Six of Wands is normally a very good card, right? It's about being celebrated very like publicly, like other people seeing you and seeing your success, right? It looks like a card of celebration. Okay, I just thought about this for a minute because this is kind of more of an intuitive thing. So I wanted to be sure, like, okay, do I really think that this is what these cards are telling me? And I do think so. I feel like this Six of Wands is representing a person or people who are maybe not being the most authentic with you. I mean, I get the impression that there is something to celebrate here. There has been some sort of success, even amongst this chaos that happened here. I do think that there is some sort of success happening, and I feel like it's possible that there are people who are pretending they support you or something along those lines. But whatever the case, it's not authentic. Maybe there's people coming out of the woodworks, right? People who you really never spoke to before or don't know really well. And now all of a sudden that you've had some success, or maybe because just circumstance, you're moving into a new situation. Now all of a sudden they want to come in and be like, oh my God, good job, you did amazing, right? And while that can feel good, I just kind of get the feeling that it's kind of a trap, a little bit. They might not be having the best intentions. So I don't want to scare you. I'm just going to say that I think just be a little extra cautious of the people who you are around at this time. And even if they might seem, you know, like they're flattering you and they're congratulating you or whatever, saying all these nice things, I would be a little more skeptical than usual. Have your guard up a little more than usual, because I don't know if they are completely authentic or genuine or having your best interest. kind of going back to this refinement idea, right? Yeah. I don't think it's like some big, giant, huge problem. I just think that if we want to keep the good vibes flowing, you know, like we would like, be a little extra cautious of anybody who's kind of giving you that, I don't know if you really mean that. That's weird. Why are you turning up now? That's interesting timing. If you have any feeling like that, take note and maybe take a step aside from that entity. Just a thought. Okay, anyway, let's wrap up with this Hermit and Harvest card. So the Hermit is about taking time away to yourself and doing a lot of reflection, looking for inner wisdom, right? And Judgment actually pairs very nicely with that, because usually in like the standard depiction of this card, it represents people who are dying or have just died and their souls going up to heaven, and you know, metaphorically them being, you know, at the gates of heaven and being judged about whether they have lived a good enough life in order to get into heaven. But keeping that in mind, in this case, with the Judgment card, aka the Harvest card, we're not talking so much about a god or something judging you, but you simply judging yourself for how this whole past journey has gone, right? Thinking of it as a lifetime, maybe. And I know I'm using the word judgment because that is what it's called, and judging yourself. But you have to remember with judgment that it's not about picking out every last little flaw, right? It's about looking at things, being unbiased, but also being very compassionate and kind, because, you know, growing and making mistakes is tough, but also very necessary, right? So I think now is definitely a good time for that reflecting, and maybe staying at home a few extra nights more than you usually would, and being with yourself, being kind and compassionate with yourself, like I said, reflecting over all of that. And yeah, if there are certain things that you do not want to carry with you into that next chapter, now might be a good time to consider letting go or consider changing what that looks like. But I'm going to say it one more time. Make sure, Pisces moons, I want you to be nice to yourself, okay? Be nice. You can be objective and realistic while still being nice to yourself. I promise. So make sure you do that, okay? I think I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. So, Pisces moons, if you have any questions about this, or if you'd like any part of this clarified, please let me know. You can leave a comment, or you can just reach out to me, whichever you prefer. If you're feeling particularly drawn to any of these cards, or if you'd like a little more information about any of them, on the shorts part of my channel, I have hundreds of shorts videos where I talk about each of the cards. I talk about their upright meaning, their reverse meaning, as well as any symbolism within them. So if I could recommend a couple for you to look at, I would definitely say the Hermit, and it'll be called Judgment, not Harvest. Judgment and the Hermit. As far as if you're looking for a path, if you're looking for what should I do now, what should my next steps be, I would recommend taking a look at those. But of course, I did explain it to you already. That's just a little extra information. So anyway, Pisces moons, I am wishing you lots of peace through this time and lots of strength. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye.